like us right now. All right, time to redo it. Man, buffer. I think we're good now. I think we're good. It took me a minute. What is going on with his markets, everybody? How is everybody trading? Are you up? Are you down? Have you traded tonight in this mess of a market? I mean, I log in and seen one heck of a move in a matter of a blink. I mean, what, 5, 10, 15 minutes? And let me just go into this. I'm going to get a few things set up on my end now that the buffer is finished. But yeah, looking at the 1 hour chart, man, I can't even imagine. So let me get a few things set up on my end and let's review what's going on in this market. It doesn't look like it's slow markets at all. Anyway, welcome to slow markets, everybody. Slow-ish markets tonight. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. As always, in the YouTube chat, there is the Top Step risk disclosure. Everything you see is for educational purposes only. Let's dive into this. I don't think an hourly chart is going to be of too much help. I don't know. Let's take a look. It looks like the market sold off and maybe held up a little bit from a technical standpoint. Is that what happened? Was the technical side ended up coming into play tonight? I don't know. It's been higher lows and higher highs, but I mean, you guys could see what happened right there. That was not a normal technical move. We just dumped. We just completely sold off. I mean, you guys know the news? What happened? Is it something Donald Trump sent a tweet out? Is there the universal tariff for all business operations? Universal tariffs. 25% tariffs on everyone? Canada and Mexico. A universal tariff. Trump considers... All right. Yeah, I could understand why this market is acting the way it is. I mean, you tell me you're going to tax on all business related. I'm surprised the market's not down that far. He was speaking in the Oval Office and signing orders. He is live signing dozens of presidential orders. Tariffs. Nancy sold all of her Apple stock. So I will tell you what, I'm surprised we are not down even further. Universal tariffs this is what everyone's gonna see if we get I mean, look at the spread. If I pull up the DOM, this is what's kind of scary in times like this. Like, look at the spread. Try to get filled on a market order. You're getting 5 points of slippage right there. This is insane. This is definitely insane. Only to Mexico and Canada for now. They might pull the rug just to make him look bad. Dakota. Yeah, I seen this Trader Hub, and I seen a lot of this news where it just says Trump suggests universal tariff. Trump suggests universal tariffs, not ready for implementation. Yeah, and this, right? So there's a lot of news coming in, and so this is my opinion, everybody. This is purely my opinion that tariffs and tariffs like this will not be good for the financial markets. And so I'm surprised we are not down further. I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up down. I mean, even much more. We broke through a lot of technicals, right? We broke through a lot of smaller, intermediate technical trends. All this bullish market structure we've made for the past few days is now gone. And are we going to see more red tomorrow? I mean, I'm wearing a red shirt, if that means anything. But Yeah, that is quite the move. Let's take a look. I want to look at how fast did it happen. That's what, 15 minutes? 15 minutes. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. 200 points in 5 minutes, and then another, 200 points in another 5 minutes. Right, 5 minutes. So in about 10, 15 minutes, we went almost 400 points, 350 points. This is definitely one that it's not good. It gets scary. Thin liquidity, right? You can see there's almost nothing on the bid and ask. It's really scary. Compared that to, like, say, ES, right? ES at least has some type of bid and ask. It's a tight spread, 1 tick spread. But then we bounce back to the NASDAQ, and it's pretty scary. In terms of percentage, that's what? A 1.5% sell-off. I personally don't think that's enough. I think we could be down a lot more come tomorrow morning, and once the London session opens, I mean, that's a lot. That's a big thing, and some of this can be brought through my opinion from the tariff section, but yeah, that is nuts. Let me take a look at these other markets. Let's take a look at the Nikkei. I'm sure the Nikkei is reacting just as bad, if not worse. Yeah, look, I mean, it's not as that's still pretty bad. Like, how big of a sell-off was that here in the Nikkei? That's not as bad as the NASDAQ. I think it should be worse. Being the Nikkei, the Japanese market, I would be surprised. I'd be surprised if we don't get continuation further down and looking for this market to sell off even further. That is a huge move. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. That made this week very volatile. It made everything a lot more interesting tonight. That's for sure. Crude oil going up, right? Crude oil is going up. We did get, if we were talking about last night, remember the overnight trade we were talking about last night, looking for a buy limit order, whether the buy limit's going to be up there or if we're going to look for the buy limit to be down here near this area of support. Looks like we did get to $76 a barrel and we started to bounce. We're back up, pushing these $77 a barrel. It's going to be interesting. A news event like that, technicals are a lot harder to trade. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's very vicious moves in gold, right? Big bounce. We were at 2720s and 2730s. Not as dramatic. I mean, in terms of percentage wise. Let's take a look. Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin's going to be back at 100,000. I tell everybody this 100,000 level on Bitcoin does not look like it's going to be going away for very long. Bitcoin, 100,000. I mean, we could be talking about 100,000 for another year. I don't see this going away for too long unless something does change fundamentally or push or crash this thing out. But Bitcoin's still at around 100,000. NASDAQ. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. Maybe we could try some. I'm surprised this thing is just not selling off even more. Made $700 and locked out. I could throw some trades on in the sim account. We could do a sim or a practice account here. I don't mind. XRP. I haven't looked at XRP. Good night to blow XFAs. Oh, it's a good night. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? There's probably a lot of traders that took that guaranteed took a lot of traders by surprise. That's going to be the importance of stop loss and having a stop loss in. And maybe it taught a lot of traders what slippage is, what it looks like, and maybe they experienced slippage. Anybody who had a stop loss in or had got in and tried to get out, I mean, now's the time where slippage becomes a lot more magnified, right? You locked your account till tomorrow. Sometimes that's better. Yeah, it might be a surprise. If you don't mind, can we take a look at natural gas? EF47, I do not look at natural gas. I mean, I don't want to spread my attention too thin across too many markets. Look at this market going up now. Like these are big moves. I know this might not look like much. This is on the 1 minute chart, but these are very big moves. Like this 1 minute candle is 25 points. 25 points. And we probably pull up like an ATR, average true range, and it's probably spiked. Let's see, ATR. And ATR is about 22 points a minute. 22 points a minute. That's pretty big. That's 22 points a minute here on the 1 minute chart. That is very big. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trade this in a practice account and just I like the volatility. And there's the top step risk disclosure. This is not a signals class, as you may know. I'm going to trade this in a practice, a demo account. Let's see if we could get into, let's catch a little bit of points here. I want to be short this market, that's for sure. Let's see how dramatic this is. You guys could see how dramatic this is. I want to see another sell-off. Do micros. I had a slippage problem tonight. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people having slippage problems. A ton of people. You know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I did today during the New York session. I'm going to scale into this up here around this zone. That's where I think we could continue to add into this. Let's see. No slippage. I mean, if you're in a live account, I guarantee you there's some dramatic slippage that you're experiencing. Trump statements are essential in your process for trading in 2025. So there is truth to that. When you have a political member like Trump, or I mean, for example, could you imagine if Jerome Powell was on Twitter or was just as active on social media? That is something to consider when taking into risk, right? There's that risk aspect when you have somebody that can move the markets dramatically off of one social media post. I mean, you take a look at Jerome Powell. Whenever he speaks, the market moves. Could you imagine Jerome Powell sitting like in the middle of the night and he sends out a tweet and the market will move very dramatically? I mean, I can imagine Jerome Powell sitting there laying in bed saying, you know, I feel like we're going to increase interest rates just for whatever reason. You're going to see big reactions like that. And so, you know, the tariffs is not a light news event. And if this is going to continue to take effect, I think this bullish run that I was talking about for the past couple of weeks might not be as good as I thought it was. Big John, did Trump say something to spark the market? Yep. His tweets go to Nancy first. Jerome Powell's tweets go to Nancy Pelosi first and foremost. Yeah. Let's see if we get this continued sell-off here. I am not touching this with a live account. I'm not touching this with real money. It's definitely not worth it. Hope Powell does not sleepwalk. Do you think we could see a P&L column on the DOM have points? I make that suggestion. That would be pretty cool. Have this P&L column have points, right? Instead of dollar amounts. Someone here bought Trump coin. I did not. I'm sure there's somebody in the chat that purchased the Trump coin, or maybe they'll just say that they purchased it. I don't get too much into that stuff. You bought $1 million. Trump said nothing. Can we get another cookie segment, please? Risky. That made my day. I have not laughed that hard for a very long time. It was so, the timing, if you guys watch TopstepTV, just the timing, everything that was going on, and the YouTube chat just just made it so much better, so much better. I had a hard time keeping my composure. I really did. I was laughing way too hard. Can you tell us why I took this trade? I mean, yeah, let's take a look. I want to explain this trade a little bit. So this is not my live account, right? This is practice. We're seeing some crazy volatility. We had this huge sell-off. We got this pullback. And so I want to build a short position up here around this 600 level. And I'm going to probably scale into a position and look for continuation back down to test, maybe we could take a run back towards 500s, maybe somewhere lower. But this is a big reaction and I don't think this is a big enough reaction. We could see, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we're down 2%. Cringeworthy for sure. What's cringeworthy? I was looking to get long just before that big drop, looking for an entry, and then bam, 300 points. Yeah, that's something to be aware of. Definitely something to be aware of. Freedom Focus, what's my P&L for the day? It's at 0. I am not trading this in my live account. Definitely not trading this in my live. It's not worth it in this crazy volatility, especially during slow markets. And look at this DOM. There's just nothing on the order books. Ones and twos and gaps, and we could move 20 points in a matter of a second, right? Just sold a couple. There's Cami Capital. How are you? How's is it New Zealand or Australia? I cannot remember, Cami. Thinking it to no pain, no gain. I passed combine yesterday in Globex session. Why is the market reacting like this? Sorry, I've been working all day. Did Trump say something? Yep. If you guys missed it, if New Zealand, if everybody missed it, just take a look at your Trader Hub, or you could just Google it, right? The easiest thing for somebody to do is typically Google, find out on your own. But lots and lots of volatility. It's Trump week. I've been suggesting lately. I've been struggling lately in this market. I have as well. I have been struggling in this market as well. Stop losses have been better entries for me. I've stated that a few times the past few weeks, and it's continuing to hold true. We'll see how, and I don't mind. It's probably going to take me another month to get this ironed out. Hopefully it takes me, not that long, but possibly another month. All right, let's see if I can get into a couple more positions up here into these 90s. If the markets are like this every day, there's going to be a lot of money made and lost in this volatility. There will be some crazy amounts of money made and lost if this type of volatility occurs every day. I want this occur during the New York session. The New York session has been very lackluster on Friday and then again yesterday, or basically today during the New York session. All right, let's get into, I'm going to get into a second contract, scaling in here. I'll probably get into 5 around 600. I'll get into 5 around 600 if the market will give me 600. Remember, this is a nice resistance zone, and this is where I want to be short, and my stop loss will be right above this resistance zone. Tomorrow's going to be wild. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And I think I need to confirm this. I think what I'm going to do is switch my fast market. So typically I'm on Mondays and Tuesdays. I might not be on tomorrow, but I'll be on fast markets for Wednesday. I'll have to confirm it, but that's what I'm most likely what I'm going to be doing. Let me take a look Man, January is almost over with. January is almost over. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll find out. I'll find out for sure. Yes. So I am not going to be tomorrow morning. I will be on Wednesday morning for fast markets. So just so everybody in here knows, I will not be on tomorrow morning. It will be Wednesday morning. Do you think I'll go down now? I'm not sure. I am short, so I do think that the Nasdaq's going to go down. Right now, remember I've typed this into the YouTube chat 5 times. This is simply on a demo account. That's nothing, right? This is Sim trying to do my best to be a Simfluencer right now. It's just paper. This is just paper. This is too volatile for a real trade, for the way that I trade anyway. This is educational only. Sell the boat, the house, and my 401k. I don't know. I just, it's going to be interesting to see how the tariffs play out tomorrow and all the news. That's probably what everyone's going to be talking about. I could almost guarantee it, where you look at every news outlet and they're going to be talking about the tariffs. They're going to be talking about everything. It's going to be the first 24 hours of Donald Trump presidency, right? Yeah, look how much. See how fast that flipped? That was nice 10, 20 points in just a minute. We were up there in the 96s. We're down pushing 92s. And yeah, off we go. Let's see if we could get continuation down towards 500. Will we? In situations like this, where we drop over 100 points, do technicals really matter? Freedom focus. Okay, this is a good point. Okay, technicals on what happened today don't really matter as much. So there is an aspect to where the major points, right? See this was support and resistance zone. It became resistance again, but these smaller technicals don't matter too much. The most current price action. So what we're seeing now becomes a lot more important. So as we're seeing this price action develop after a major event, then the immediate price action after that event is typically a lot more important. Now, of course, higher time frames like an hourly or a daily can still be important to it, right? Depending on whether or not we've broke it or we went past it. So technically this market is still, bullish from a standpoint where, of course this was a what do you call it, a low. This was a higher low. I was looking for this to become a higher low, but obviously with this news tonight, it did not. So this can still be the higher low, what we just put in. I don't know if it's going to be or not. Nobody really knows if this is going to be the higher low and then we rally back up. It's only my opinion that if the tariffs are back on the table, we could see a lot more of a dramatic sell-off either overnight or tomorrow morning or tomorrow during the New York session. We shall see. I did miss an opportunity to add to this for a short. Are there any markets that are just your kryptonite for no reason? It depends on the day. Some days the NASDAQ is my kryptonite. I would definitely say some days the Nikkei is my kryptonite, right? And I think it just depends on my trading in the market. So it bounces back and forth between the Nikkei and the NASDAQ. I haven't really had any issues with gold or crude oil. It's really a fight between the NASDAQ and the Nikkei for me. Yes, clear up trends, also a nice correction like the last one. Yeah, once again, technicals don't really matter too much when there's an event like this. It wasn't a planned event, and it happened during market close. So there's a lot less liquidity, there's a lot less volume on the books, and so the moves can be very dramatic. Could be very, very dramatic. Like we're seeing this chop, and when I talk about chop tonight, like these are big moves, right? This is a big move. This is a lot of chop, where if you're in a live account, you're lots and lots of slippage. You'll get smacked around quite a bit. Gold is great for people who want 2 trades a week. Yeah, I think gold and crude oil, for me, it's a more selective market. When I take a look at gold and when I take a look at crude oil, I'm a lot more selective. Cookie coin. Did you pay attention to this? Do you pay attention to stochastics indicator? Mike Z, I do not. I do not. I've used it before. It's been a while. I know traders that do use it, that use stochastics. For 3-bar reversal, does it have to reverse past the first bar or just the second? Second. 3-bar reversals on the second, right? This is a 3-bar reversal right here. Right there. This is a 3-bar reversal. And usually they're after a long move. This is a failed 3-bar reversal. Right here. That's a failed, right? Well, because we didn't really reverse, we just continued right back down. So and there's a little bit of discretion. You could just Google it. Charles, how to stop blowing accounts? Size down. If you're blowing an account, if you blow more than 1 account a month, you're trading too big of a size. You should, at worst case scenario, it would take you 10 days of bad trading to blow your account. Like if I'm going to pass a combine, that's what I would look for is, 10 days, bad trading, maybe I would blow an account. The odds of you having 10 horrible days of trading should not be correct. Size down. Size down's typically the answer. What's the biggest size you recommend, David? I think that depends on what you're referring to. I found more than one definition for 3-bar reversal. I was just curious on yours. Okay. Yeah, there's a few definitions out there for what a 3-bar reversal really is. It's the emotions, go all in every trade. Nope. I find a lot less blowing the smaller size, just blown 4 XFAs. Oh, man. You were trading 4 XFAs when this sell-off happened? Did you have a stop loss is the question. Make sure you always have a stop loss in there. And you should never be risking a blown account on an individual trade. You blew 2 on MNQ. It's all about the size. It really is. If you're trading small enough not to blow an account, very rarely should you blow an account, unless you make a big mistake, right? It should take you at least, like I said, 10 days to blow it. It's true though. It's true. I stick with 5 MNQ. Yeah, I would say 1 to 5 micros on a new account, and you see, it'd be hard for me to see somebody blowing an account on 1 to 5 micros. I do not know Hitchhiker Scalp. I do not. Having a day loss is a good secondary protection from blowing an account with such a large random move. Yes, Blue Light. Exactly. Having your own personal daily loss limit is just as important of having a stop loss. It's to have double protection. You have your stop loss, you have a daily loss limit, and you should not ever have to worry. At what point would you be able to use max leverage of an account? Eric, this is a question I've actually been thinking about. When would I ever use max leverage of my account? What we're doing here at Topstep right now, I don't see a reason for anybody to be maxed, quote, maxed leveraged. I just don't see it. I see no reason to be leveraging to the max. I think what we're doing here at Topstep, what we're in and out of positions in and out of the same day, there's no way anybody should be max leveraged. The only scenario is, I see some traders putting it in here, is if you're already in a winning position, you're able to add to that position, and your stop loss is still not increasing your risk. So if you could add to a position and say you're risking $500 and you're up $1,000, and then you can move your stop loss to break even, you add, and you can continue to add to that position. And so you're still not going to, no matter what happens, you're not going to lose $500 in this trade, but your position size has increased. So that is the only way I could see traders maxed leverage, is when they add to a winning account. And that would be the only way it would make sense for me. The other way, now hear me out, the other way is when you get a live account, you'll have the freedom to work with the risk team. So I have a live account. I have the freedom. I continue to have conversations with the risk team. And if you ever get yourself in a position to where you could say you're long the NASDAQ, maybe you're short the ES, I mean, you could have, I don't think portfolios the right way, but maybe you can spread it out. I know I talked to MP for a little bit about what future options would look like, and what the future holds, what 2025 looks like, what 2026 would look like, and having those conversations, because I don't need a $350,000 live account, to be honest. And this is something I've had really in-depth conversations, like, why do I need a $350,000 live account when I'm only risking $5,000 a day? It would take me a very long time, and that cash is tied up, and I don't have access to that cash, and I'm not using that much leverage anyway. I'm using five minis right now. And so there are a lot of conversations to consider when in a live environment, when talking about live, like talking about real money, talking about account size, talking about leverage, talk about so many different things that can be very, very advanced compared to what you typically see at your prop firm or on any of that. And it's been good conversations. I'm excited for the future at Topstep, and I don't see myself being anywhere else. When do you know when it's time to take a break from trading? How many accounts one has to blow to decide that? Carmerin, it's less about the accounts and more about your emotional state. Elvis, so that is not right. So Elvis says, I did have a $250,000 account and I lost it. No, I withdrew most of it. I withdrew 186,000, and that was already after I had a drawdown. And so in no world would I ever lose $250,000 in a single account, right? 20,000, sure, I've lost $20,000 in an account, trading 10 minis, 5 minis, 15 minis, and then you can have quite a bit of leverage at a prop firm compared to what you can normally have in your own personal account. Traptor X, yeah, we saw it. We saw what? Who's we and what did you see? This is ever since I logged in, we've kind of settled down. We have settled down quite a bit. I still want to get into 2 more. Actually, 3 more. Let's see if we could push up into these 09s I'll get into. Oh, yeah. You seen me lose the 20K? I mean, yeah. I mean, it was not, there was no hiding about it. You lost 30K because of slippage. Oh, that makes me feel a lot better, Elvis, on my own, because $20,000, $15,000 of that was slippage. I think it was the 15,000. I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot of that was slippage during a CPI event that I held. I couldn't imagine during the flash crash. You guys also saw me make 500s. You guys get to see everything. I posted on Twitter today, or Twix, about that. I don't mind posting losses. I mean, you guys get to see everything. Whenever I'm on TopstepTV, it's all shown. There's no hiding. I mean, sometimes I really wish I don't get me wrong. The urge to hide things can be tempting. It's very, very tempting to hide a loss. I get that, right? It's tempting. Like if I lose a trade, like today during the New York session, I just think like, damn it, man, I just lost $5,000 in front of everyone, and like that's kind of how it is. It's tempting. I get the temptation. I understand the temptation for sure, but that's just not something that Topstep will ever do, and that's why I'm here. What you see is what you get. Yeah. Every single time you see the good, the bad, and ugly. Unfortunately, lately it's been, more ugly than good. 7 pips. As a person that just passed their combine, what's an unrealistic price target? Or do you mean a realistic price target? I missed my opportunity to add. Here we go. Let's see if we sell off, or if this little trend that we've been having since I started class is going to hold. If not, I'm looking for us to continue back down towards these lows. I don't know if we'll get all the way down here, because this was quite, they call it a knee-jerk reaction, right? And this is quite the knee-jerk reaction. Maybe we won't see this until the London session or the New York session, but I was at least looking for a push down towards these lows. Like that's something I am looking for, a push towards these 520s, 530s, at least bare minimum down here to the mid 500s. This influence hide the truth because it impacts their viewership. Well, yeah, Andrew, that's the obvious thing, right? People think I really care about their opinions, and I don't. I really don't. If I missed it, Damien, you might have to... Oh, it's actually right here. Coach Dakota, can anyone make 5K ADAST trading if they follow good risk management and the right skill? Coach Dakota, you were profitable for a few years. I've been trading, and do you make a living from it? So, I think you say your name, Damon. I've been trading for over 14 years, and this is what I do for a living. What I do here at Topstep, I'm doing it because if you ask me, hey, if you were retired and if you had all the money in the world, what would you enjoy doing to keep you busy, to keep you, on top of your game? This is it. Like, this is what I enjoy doing. This is what keeps me kind of engaged, because real trading, everybody, is really freaking boring. It is. It's really boring to a point to where some days when I wake up, I don't even do I don't really need the money. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to trade. I mean, I'm like forcing myself to trade, which is not good. It's very bad when you feel like you're forcing yourself to trade, and then you question, like, well, do I really love trading? Like, is trading something I really want to do, or do I find something else to pass the time? But no, this is something that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed it today during Topstep TV or in fast markets, where there was the Girl Scout cookies. That was, man, I haven't laughed that hard for so long. I absolutely was dead. I was dying so hard, and they cut back to me, and I still had my camera on, and I had a hard time just getting it together. Like, that stuff, I enjoy that. That was just funny. I know some, like, of course, there's going to be people online that, like, I don't like this. I'm leaving. This is done, blah, blah. But you trade every single day. You get bored of the markets. That is so refreshing. To have that type of fun is, you can't get that anywhere else. Yeah, you missed the cookie story. Yeah, I don't know how that was. I almost bought some too. It made me hungry. I didn't have breakfast, and that was just, I didn't know what was going on for a second, and I was like, what the hell is this? And it was fun. It was absolutely fun. Yeah, Hayes Records. You could get bored of anything. Who bought those? I was gonna reach out to find out who bought any of those Girl Scout cookies today on fast markets. Dakota, do you still get any nerves or butterflies before your first trade of the day? Mo, I do not. Someone bought some. Yeah, that's awesome. I do not get any nerves before my first trade of the day. It's gotten so repetitive to me, to where emotionally I'm not connected to a winning day or a losing day. It's just numbers on the screen and trying to follow a process. Lots of wicks on the 5 minute. I mean, we're seeing kind of a shoulder, head, shoulder pattern on this smaller time frame, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder, and we're just breaking that neckline right now. Shoulder, head, shoulder, starting to break the neckline. I was too slow at drawing that out. The thing about winning trades is you just never have enough on. Process over cookies. Yeah, I cannot have sugar right now. I cannot have sugar while I'm cutting weight down to what I'm going to be boxing at. You're emotionally dead inside, Richard Harris. Sometimes it feels like that, huh? Doomlord, I do box. Yeah, so as much as I really want cookies. Yeah, they were serious. I mean, those are for sale, and it was tempting, very tempting. I absolutely love the Thin Mints. It's bad, but I can't. I cannot. It's hard to get down to 8% body fat. And it's hard to get down to that target weight after you turn 30 years old. I'm Orthodox Slippers. I never seen your face mask. I guess you're good. You're good at it, dude. I mean, you're gonna start seeing my face. If I come to Topstep TV with a black eye or a bruised face, you'll know why. It's been a while. It's been a year. It's been a year since maybe a little bit less than a year. But getting back into it, you're going to see my face messed up a little bit. Took those shorts and long reversal. I would not do MMA competitively. Nope. Or short Bitcoin. I say long staircase up, stair step up. Maybe. I'm looking for this market to continue back down towards these lower 500s. Does the tilt show anything? I'm not sure. I don't pay attention to the tilt very often. Dakota, say you won 30 days in a row. Better to take half the money out or go for a full port payout. Johnny, if you've won 30 days in a row and you haven't taken a payout already, you should probably take a payout. Don't go for a full port or a full payout. Or if you want, it depends on you, Johnny. So not full port. So if you, just so everybody in here, we're on the same page. If you have 30 winning days, and they don't have to be in a row, let's just make sure that's true. It does not have to be in a row. You could have 30 winning days. They do not have to be in a row. And once you have those, you can withdraw your balance, your entire balance, right? I would not, me personally, I would not withdraw my entire balance. I like withdraw a percentage of it, keep some of it, and you could trade it. But, you know, some traders, their goal is to withdraw the money, and then you can open up your personal account, and then you could trade your personal account. And there's a lot more benefits trading your personal account, right? But, yeah, definitely take a payout if you haven't already. What's super aggro? I don't know what that means. How do I get a practice account on Topstep X? You just go onto the trader dashboard. You just log into the dashboard, and there should be an option to do a practice account. Aggravated. I think he was risking 100K. I would not risk 100K in a day. No, I would not trade that aggressive. You guys see my most aggressive trading. I trade, to me, the way I'm trading right now in my live every day, that's aggressive. The way you guys see me trading right now in my live account, or ever since you guys see me on TopstepTV, this is aggressive to me. Not this is not aggressive, but the way you guys see me in my Topstep live account, that is aggressive. That is definitely aggressive. Risking 1.5% a day is aggressive. Obviously, if I lose for a little bit, then it's like 1.6, maybe 1.7. If I win a little bit, then it's like 1.4, 1.3. But $5,000 stop loss is very aggressive. PS. So I would say it's aggressive. 1.5% is aggressive. I do not look at the DOM 5K. Would you mind looking at the 3-minute chart, gold chart? I'll look at gold in a moment. Dakota would rather go live in Peru rather than trade 100K. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I would be okay with living in Peru because I'd be spending a fraction of what I spend on my cost of living. Any recommendations for journaling? David, not sure what you mean by that, but there's performance stats here, and you can journal here, right? You can journal in the statistics, right? You can come in here and you can add your journal. Would you recommend your DL? Okay, what would you recommend your DLL be on a 150K account? I would say on a $150,000 account, my DLL would be $400, $400, $500, $300, just right around there. Nothing more than $500 a day. Definitely not. Topstep X is so far the best sim I've traded on. Nice. Yeah, I haven't had too many issues on Topstep X. Topstep X is not even a year old. everybody. Topstep X is only, what, 10 months old, 9 months old? It's not that old. Yeah, Richard Harris, you remember I showed everybody what my monthly bills are. I live below my means. My bills are a lot less than that now, Richard. It's less than $3,000 a month. I pay less than $3,000 for my cost of living monthly. That includes rent, cars, gas, food, everything. Less than $3,000. Everything else goes towards investments. I don't think I will. I don't spend money on the crazy stuff that you guys see on social media. I couldn't. Even if I had $1 million to just blow, I would not buy a fancy car or anything like that. I would put that money into probably just a CD, a high yield savings account, or a CD, or probably a few dividend stocks, and then continue to live the way I do. I don't think I'll ever be in a Lambo, Douglas. I will never own a Lamborghini. I will be confident in that one. There's no, I have never seen a decent benefit to own a Lamborghini. You know what? Yeah, there we go. I might put some premium gas in my Honda Civic. That would be that might be where I would go. Get a little crazy there. Put premium. No, I'll do the mid grade. I'd do mid grade in my Honda Civic. Yeah, I know I'm trading the practice. Too much craziness for tonight. You can see there's the order book is very, very thin. And we had Trump news talking about tariffs. And so it's no trading for me tonight, but playing it around in a practice account for fun. It's a Honda Civic, not a Honda Accord. It's a Honda Civic. I paid $15K for it 2 years ago. 3 years ago. I paid $15,000 for it. It's paid off. 3 years ago. I don't have car payments. Wish I knew before I was $200 from blowing my third. How many miles? It has 120,000 miles. It has 120,000 miles on it. Yep. I bought it used. I did. I think I even showed a picture on Topstep on it. I drive it around. I've actually met somebody near where I live. I met somebody in chat, and they seen me in my Honda Civic. I don't know what happened to them. I can't remember their name either. I should make it a sleeper. Okay, let's get to some more of these questions about the markets. The markets kind of just died down ever since we started. Nothing's really going on. Let me go through these markets one more time, and then we'll get to a few more questions. We are 30 minutes left, but yeah, let's get through this. Nikkei, let me jump out to the 5-minute chart again. I mean, Nikkei's recovering pretty nicely from that. Maybe this is actually, let's just go ahead. I'm going to just get into a couple shorts here on the Nikkei as well. And yeah, let's see. We had that nice sell-off from the news, right? And we are having a decent pullback. If I had to guess the difference between the high and the low, we're right about 50%. I'm pretty sure we could draw a fib and say that's 50%. Let's take a look. I mean, that's close enough. It's just above 50, between 50 and 61.8. So Nikkei looking for continuation back down. I'm looking for this market to sell off as well. Make sure let's put that right there. I'm actually going to switch this to, let's go from points to dollars so we keep track on that one. And let's get out of that I'm actually getting to 3. I want to get into 3 right here in the Nikkei. And let's move along. Let's take a look at gold. It's gold's nice rally. Let me take a look at the higher time frame on gold. And let's take a look at the daily. I was going to see. Let's take a look at the daily. Gold's looking really bullish, everybody. This is looking really bullish here on gold, where we came up and we tested these highs. We tested these highs and we got that pullback. And so now it's kind of like a trampoline, right? Whenever we get a pullback and we bounce on the trampoline, that gives us an opportunity, gives us some momentum. So if we do break out, maybe we could run up and test these 2800s. I'd love to see us test these 2800s, maybe test for some all-time highs. That could be in the books. Gold is pretty bullish lately. After tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if we see further continuation on gold. But buy the dip, looking at the buy the dip mentality, looking at a few different time frames. And I think I was saying this last night, where we're continuing to make higher lows, and we continue to make higher highs. There's no sense or even thinking that this trend will not continue. And it looks like it started right at the beginning of 2025. So, ever since the start of the new year, all month, it's been higher lows and higher highs. I could see this continue. Let's see if we could break through this resistance zone. And if we can, then, maybe all-time highs in gold could definitely be on the books. Let's take a look at crude oil. We talked about that a little bit last night. Crude oil was definitely a buy the dip market. It played out longer than I expected, that's for sure. We did come down towards this $76 a barrel level. We are pushing above 77, and I think this is going to be very similar to the gold, right? Where we continue to make higher lows and higher highs. And, sure enough, could this be the pullback? And then we look for this market to continue, maybe test $80 a barrel. I would think so. That's a possibility, and I definitely would like that. I'd like to see that. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ one more time. You can see we are actually starting to sell off a little bit. Let me zoom in. Talked about this, looking for this market to continue back down towards these mid to lower 500s. Let's take a look. This is a 5-minute chart. The same thing I was talking about the Nikkei, right? Where we had that massive sell-off, and we're getting a pullback, and I'm sure this pullback is right around 50%, maybe a little bit more if we're a fib trader. I talk about fibs every once in a while. That's right at that 61.8.618. So that looks attractive to the Fibonacci traders. And looking for this market to continue during the Trump news, right, where he was talking about tariffs, putting universal tariffs and all that fun stuff. Is it fun? I do have, and I have spent a lot of time, and I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to international supply chain, working with China, Vietnam, Mexico, a few other countries. And I do understand tariffs in I would say, a more in-depth level than an average person. So I do know that tariffs would have a negative effect on the financial markets, at least in the near term, right? And then maybe, I don't even know if it's a maybe, right? I'm not an economist. I don't know what will exactly happen. I just kind of see how the market reacts, and then I trade off of that. But yes, typically higher tariffs translates to inflation, right? Or higher inflation or increased cost of goods, because tariffs is just that. Tariffs are a cost of goods, and that's what happens when you buy something in the store. Usually it's made in a different country, and the reason why we get the things so cheap here, at least here in the US, a lot of the things we get it so cheap is because, guess what? It's cheaper to make it into another, in China, Vietnam, Mexico, than it is to manufacture here. And if you're paying an extra 25% on the cost of goods, that's only going to be increasing. It's going to be passed down to the consumer. I know that for a fact because I worked for a lot of major company supply chains like Chuck E. Cheese, Carl's Jr.'s, Thread Wallets here in Utah, Pura also here in Utah. And I know for a fact, any country with tariff, they just pass it on to the consumer. bump up the price a little bit, maybe smack a name on it and call it, what do they call it? I no longer have an NDA with them. I want to make sure that's clear. Yeah, but they basically just smack a fancy name on it and call it something else and mark it up, so they don't have to eat the tariffs themselves. But yeah, anyway, interesting. It's imperfect labor market. That's a fact. You can't wait for higher grocery prices. I mean, I don't like to give my opinions on here, but I am a person that I am. Yeah, you know what? I'm just not going to say it. And we keep buying. Yes, Brady. It doesn't matter the price. We just keep on buying. That Nikkei trade played off pretty well. This Nikkei trade's paying off. Here we go. Do we catch the top of that on the Nikkei? Do you set daily profit limits or just daily loss limits? Dan, I do have only daily loss limits. I don't take too many trades, and I do not cap my profits. Sometimes it could very well be a good decision to put a profit target for a day. Can't leave you on. I mean, I'm all for I am all for perfect competition, right? I do believe that there shouldn't be a minimum wage. I do not believe in a minimum wage. I really do not believe in that. I feel like a minimum wage hurts more than it helps. That is my hot take. Chapter, how do I distinguish a pullback from a reversal? That is hard to say. That is very hard to say. I mean, how would you determine that, right? Is this a pullback or a reversal? You don't know until after the fact. I've had debates on that, right? And remember, I grew up in a very small town, and it just blows my mind when you see somebody, a kid out of college or in high school, you see a kid in high school taking tickets at the movie theater, and the movie theater's forced to pay the kid to take tickets, $15 an hour. And of course, the movie theater is not going to be able to survive much on that. And they're going to prefer to hire a 30 or 40-year-old person with more experience. And it's just a big debate. That's why McDoubles are $4 now. Yeah, it's a hot take. I've gotten into some heated debates with friends that believe the opposite, right? And it's just an opinion. That's all it is. Gipster, what did I study in college? I went to college in finance and economics. I majored in finance. I got my degree in finance, but I've taken plenty of economic classes. I've seen it. Here's the thing is, I've seen it around the world. I've seen it in I've seen it in Vietnam. I've seen it in China. I've seen it in Mexico. I've seen it in probably 3 or 4 different countries. And yeah, I've seen the difference when it comes to supply chain, to manufacturing, to cost of goods, to how company runs. And yeah, there's so many different things. And I don't like talking about that too much. Ooh, is the NQ finally selling off? Is it? Yeah, NASDAQ's having a hard time holding a bid tonight. The idea of minimum wage sounds nice. It does sound nice. Doomlord, I will say that there's some of the major cities in China, Japan, and Vietnam more advanced than a lot of areas here in the U.S. I will tell you what, Now this is really off topic, but the ports where the big ships go in and out and they offload the containers, the ports in China and Vietnam are so much more advanced than the ports here in the United States. It's absolutely mind blowing how advanced the ports are in China and Vietnam compared to here in California and Texas and on the East Coast. It's like, yeah, it's like inside an Amazon warehouse, right? Just so efficient. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a whole new world. I felt like I felt like I'm coming from a third world going into seeing what the most advanced cities were. Yeah, I seen the ports. I told you already about the ports. Well, now you know again, Harris. It's a good reminder. If you ever decide to go out there, you'll remember. Efficient is a strong word. I mean, are the markets we're trading efficient, right? Doom Lord. No, no, not there. Not there. Bull flag on the 15-minute chart. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's slow markets. We have 20 more minutes left. I'm going to continue to answer questions. Not much is really happening. Not much is really happening, to be honest. I thought we would get a lot more movement. I am short the Nikkei on this practice demo account, demo account. Not much is really gone, but just looking for a continuation back down to these lows. Same with the NASDAQ. I'm not looking for a new low, but I'm looking for sellers to step back in. I really thought oil would keep selling off for a few days. I'm pretty surprised to see oil popping. Jim Meyer, why would you be surprised about oil? I mean, oil's been pretty bullish, right? Oil has been pretty bullish for the past few weeks, right? It's going up and to the right. And then, of course, any news or headline that comes up can have crude bounce, $1 or $2 or more. So we are bouncing off this $76 a barrel level. But it did look like there for a minute that we would see some type of a continuation down, but we just did not get that. We did not get that. I did not hear if Trump mentioned crude oil or not. I don't pay too much attention to what the news says, unless it's something dramatic. VMAC, do I use any indicators? I do not. You guys see the way I trade daily. It's not indicators. He said, drill, baby, drill. Oh, yeah? I mean, you'd think crude would sell off with that, right? Interesting. Is that true, Tommy? He signed an order to drill in Alaska. I think, I don't know if that's going to have a price, an effect. And like things like that, you just have to trade what the price gives you. That's all we can do is you must trade what is in front of you, regardless of what we think, right? Because if I say that I might have an opinion, I would say, oh, you know what? That the price of oil should go down. And I short the market, but then everything else that I'm seeing in the market's saying, buy it, buy it, buy it. The price is going up. It doesn't really matter what someone says. What matters is what price is doing. What is the market saying to you, right? Like, what's the market doing? How's the market reacting? You trade a process, and you don't trade your opinion. And I get caught in that sometimes, right? I get caught trading my opinion sometimes and not following the process exactly how it should. And that is all of us. Every trader I've ever talked to can go back and say, you know what, that was maybe I was too biased. I was too opinionated on that trade. And even though I might think that this was bearish or bullish for the market, I was not following my process. Price action speaks louder than words. Yep. What's your strategy? Risk management. Oil will be really cheap once tariffs crash. It's like we got a hot CPI number and the market goes up. There's more oil in Alaska than Saudi. I believe we had a record production year. I used to trade crude oil a lot. 8 years ago, crude oil was the thing to trade. And I was scalping. I wasn't trading crude oil like you see how I trade now. I was actually scalping crude oil for like 3 to 10 points. I was not trading like you typically see me trade. I was more of a scalper. I really used to love scalping. Just very, like, yeah, 3 to 10 ticks. Born there. Very wrong, apparently. I like CL moves between the 25 as well. Yeah, this market is so thin. Look at this order book. This is the NASDAQ. Nothing. The difference between 84 and 79 is like 10 contracts. David failed. Any predictions for the S&P 500 tomorrow morning? This is not a prediction. I'm going to say this again. This is not a prediction, everybody. This is the risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. But if I had to give a direction for tomorrow in the markets, it's going to be red. I'm wearing a red shirt, and I believe that tomorrow could be a very ugly day in the markets. I don't know. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. I mean, if they did, you'd be a billionaire and you wouldn't be trading, right? But obviously, with this type of price action, with this news, it looks to me to be a red day. Can we recover it? Yeah, there's plenty of times where I see this market recover from 2%, right? Where we sell off 2% and we rally up 2%. But nothing's telling me in this market we will rally, right? Especially after tonight. Do we have any other news tomorrow? Let's see. I mean, not really any other news. So nothing. There's some news in the UK overnight, but nothing really. So maybe the Trump tariffs, or maybe the tariffs and all the craziness from what you're seeing on this sell-off will drag into the New York session. Let's see. We'll see how London will react if that brings it down. I'm pretty sure the bonds are selling off. Is that right? Are the bonds selling off? What's going on here? No, bonds are rallying. The 2 years rallying. Yeah, that's not much of a reaction on the 2 year. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, look at this. One would say that this is bullish for the market, right? Hoop in the chat. One will typically say that this can be bullish. Interest rates not as scary. I thought that we'd be seeing the bonds sell off with that. Icy green. Yeah, maybe the markets are going to be green tomorrow. I don't know. It's anybody's game. Staying away with Trump could be a flight to safety. Looking for a safe haven. Is that why we're seeing a nice rally in gold? That's why we've seen a nice rally in gold this tonight, right? This is quite the move. Everyone's flight to safety, and then tomorrow they fly back. It's hard to say. You always almost never know. At least from my experience, I really never know. In the dark pool, I have no idea. We're just day traders, right? Do you use the DOM for decision making or just the spread? Nathan, I use the DOM just to see how the liquidity is and the spread. I don't use it for decision making. You almost always never know. Mo, can you just explain the correlation between bonds and equities? I mean, they do their own thing sometimes. Mo, they definitely can do their own thing. Typically, if interest rates go up, that would be bad for the market. If interest rates go down, that can typically be good, right? But sometimes bad is good, good is bad. Same with the dollar. I mean, some days the ES goes up and the NASDAQ goes down and vice versa. Flip a coin. Yep, Richard. It's recorded somewhere. That's what I pay. Includes everything. Is Nikkei doing anything? I think it's markets haven't really done anything. Markets have not done a single thing. Basically flatline since I've got on scalping this. It's kind of went sideways. I thought we was going to see a lot more volatility tonight. When I logged in and this market sold off 300 points, I thought we was going to have a lot more volatility than what we're getting during stream. That dump was observed. I don't want to say it's expected, but you do have to expect the unexpected, and a sell-off like that, it can come out of nowhere. And it could be very scary. It could be very, very scary. Especially if you're in the market and it's such a thin order book, you get slippage. Would you want to buy or sell after that? I mean, you can see I want to sell. I want to go in with this momentum and see a continuation to the downside. How long do I typically hold my trades? If I'm in the New York session, I don't hold it for longer than an hour, less than an hour during the New York session. If I'm doing my slow markets overnight, then I usually hold it on average like 5-6 hours, just depending on how volatile. Obviously tonight, if the way the market was reacting earlier, if I was in a trade, then yeah, I mean, I would not be holding it for very long. The question is, I want to see if somebody was short. Who was short the markets? And that would be quite the pleasant surprise if somebody was short the markets tonight and they just had that 300-point sell-off. And did anybody in here short this market before the drop and caught it? Our crews at the daily loss limit on your drop. Oof, that's a rough one. I caught $11,000 move and gave it all back. Someone took 5,000. Dorito chip made 3. Someone's short now. JP was long right before the unexpected. Yeah, it's as long. Make sure you guys have your stop losses. Matt G. Make sure you have a daily loss limit. Have your stop losses. How long do I hold in my personal account? It depends on what I'm doing in it. Options, I hold it for 3+ months. Up 3,100 and locked out. Okay. Didn't trade today. That's probably the better decision. Do you trade the 100 tick? I do during the New York session. I trade the 100 tick. I'm going to try and rapid fire the rest of these questions. I was in a long and got caught with no stop loss. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, that gives that's a hurt, man. That's If you were long and you didn't have a stop loss, that's a rough lesson. It is. Made 6K on the drop, back in short at 586. Lost 50K, passed 100K up to 2 XFAs. I'd like no losses instead of a stop loss. If you replace the T and tick, oh, come on. What do you get? You get Nick for a tick. Do you there what is that? Don't be a dick for a tick. Sometimes no stop loss hurts less than slippage mentally. Fair. Blew the combine down 350 in this chop fest. It's been very choppy this slow markets. It's been slow markets. If you get called up to live, do you get options to change platform? I think you can have that conversation with the team. I don't know if you can change platforms, but they do transfer the funds. So, I mean, I would ask. I can't give you a correct answer because I'm not them. Trailing drawdown XFA is Cancer. Trailing drawdown. It's only to 0, right? I mean, you don't have a trailing drawdown after 0. It doesn't continue to trail. You were short with a ton of options, Anthony Bell. In your personal accounts, if you were short with options, you're going to be excited tomorrow. Hopefully you owned puts. If you bought puts, the VIX, where's Nick for a tick at? Where the VIX is going to be spiking up, right? I'm sure we're going to see a nice bump in the VIX. So all the options traders out there, we're going to get a nice spike in options premium tomorrow, I'm sure. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, to be honest, to be seller of some options, be able to close out. Yeah, options premium is going to be on fire this week. I've been hearing about banked resets. It seems okay. Where can I read info about it? I would ask reach support. I know there's reach out to support. I know Wendy or someone in support will be able to help you on those details. Buy puts, it's VIX saying the VIX is going to be definitely going to be interesting tomorrow. These evening streams are very enjoyable. Thanks, bud. Of course. I mean, I enjoy it as much as everybody in here does. I really enjoy it. I mean, sometimes when I just have a crappy day, I do look forward to these evening streams and enjoy them very much. It's fun talking with everybody here, and it's fun to see the occasional troll come out and feel like I care about their opinions. But it's nevertheless always fun. It's always fun on Topstep TV. Always. Dakota, I'm aware 500 VIP places are up for grabs. Do you know how many Topstep traders are there trying to work out the rough odds? I do not, Mo. I do not know how many people signed up. It's not about how many Topstep traders are there. It's more about on how many have signed up. So I do not know. I cannot give you a number because I don't know the number. It would be wrong. And maybe people think I know more than I really do. I don't know. Trust me, I don't know as much as what you guys probably think I know. But there are 140,000 on Topstep, right? So I could imagine that not everybody has filled out the VIP form. I do know if you take a look at how many views the day stream gets, and you can make an assumption, like typically it's around 38 to 40,000 views every day. And we've been doing the VIP for over a month now. I mean, it's it's hard to tell because, yeah, I mean, at every given moment during the live stream, there's 5,000 to 6,000 people, right? But they're not all the same people every day. Some days people only watch on Mondays. Some days people only watch on Tuesdays and so forth. So it's not only the same people. There's tens of thousands of traders here at Topstep. I don't know exact numbers. I don't have access to those. And yeah, I know as much as everybody in here knows. I could say that out of confidence. If you filled out 1, you still have a chance. If you filled out 2, you have 2 times as much chance. I have no power, Mo. It's not up to me. I do not have the power to say I choose this person to be in my VIP. Nope, it's a complete random based off of that. If I had the power to choose my VIP team, I know exactly half the traders, and those are the traders that are in my slow markets class very frequently. I'm not joking. If I had to choose them, and I'll name a few traders that I would love to have in my VIP team, and yeah, that would be like Lido, Hayes Records, Douglas PC, and Dan, Mo. I mean, the traders that I see in this YouTube chat during my slow markets frequently each night, I would definitely just say, let's just put them in. I've seen you, Slippers, and like the more active you are, if I had to pick, those would be some of my picks. Yep. But I don't, right? That's the beauty. That's the beauty. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited. Maybe we get somebody in slow markets in here. Yeah, I don't have that power. If I did, I would abuse it. Yep. If if I had that power, I would abuse the heck out of it and give it to the traders who are here active. I don't care. That's why it's going to be interesting to see me as a VIP coach. Yeah, Mask Trader Rick. There would be one too. Mask Trader Rick. Harris, I don't know. I kind of want to win, right? So maybe, I don't know about Harris. Dakota, do you ever put a trade and walk away? If so, yes, and for how long? I do all the time. In my slow markets class, this would be an example of a trade where I'll put in, I'll walk away, I'll turn down my computer, and I'll go to bed. Do it a lot. Doing it a lot. Take all S 1.5 now. Yeah, I mean, if I could. That's kind of what I'm doing, everybody. This is like a VIP class. This is every single night during slow markets. I answer questions. I talk about the markets. I tell you as much as I can, and I have fun. So this is basically a VIP, but for a bigger audience. For the VIP for 50 traders, that's going to be a lot more personalized, right? It's going to be a lot more, for lack of a better word, intimate, because I'll be able to answer questions a lot more in depth. I can answer more specific questions to 50 traders compared to 1,500 traders. So I'm going to leave it like that. I will be on, remember, TopstepTV. I will be on Wednesday morning, not tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, and then again tomorrow night. So tomorrow night and then Wednesday morning, I will be on for TopstepTV. Until then, take care, and I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.